Well, good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, Monica Adams. Some of you might have seen the post I had last night talking about next week being our 1-year anniversary of launching right here on our set, right here in Brentwood in the University Club Tower building. So excited. We started the show in March of last year, but this is where we launched our studios. And boy, has been an incredible ride with an amazing staff. Again, thanks to Zach Kimball, who is my technical director. We've got my assistant and one of my best friends, Michelle Harmon. And now we are training someone new to be taking over moderating and doing some of the work that Michelle had been doing. So she gets a little break, a little reprieve. I'm going to shift some creative ideas because she's so creative. So Ashlyn, who we're going to introduce you to as well, we've got another intern, so we're excited. And we want to thank Teresa Pauley, who works with SIUE, for working with us on these incredible interns, some of which have turned into our staff. Zach's one of them, and Hannah Gassman. And of course, George Wise. It was my dream with George to do this show. And then for you, we've got the biggest thanks because you show up every morning looking for inspiration, motivation, finding out about incredible people in your community, wonderful businesses that we want you to support. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to give you a sneak peek into our live show next week. Julie Ingold is the owner of Sunset Overlook, a wonderful spot, a true gem in Columbia, Illinois. And they've got their big 6-year anniversary coming up next week. But today we're going to talk about the background of Sunset and find out about the person behind that wonderful place. I love all of you that have been telling me that you're going to be coming, getting your friends together. Start planning that now. Friends, girlfriends, guys, couples night out. It's going to be fun. It's an evening show, again, on the 13th, 7 p.m. to 8:30 next Thursday evening. So hopefully the weather will cooperate. Today, maybe a little dicey. Did any of you have rain by where you live? I had some winds whipping up. No storms ever in my area, but Zach and Michelle both said that they had some rain move in last night. So here's the deal, maybe the same as what we had yesterday for today. It is a first alert weather day, and this is from our friends at Channel 4, KMOV. Some isolated severe storms possible. The time frame really 2 to 8 afternoon into the early evening. 60-mile-per-hour gusts, though, and maybe hail to a quarter size. So it is a first alert for weather day. You might want to check out their weather app and make sure that you always have that handy. So we have our What the Weather with our fun aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. And when we don't have him, I like to lean on our friends over at Channel 4. So again, the severe risk you're seeing as they go from a low to a high, but you see green all throughout the map. So still a low level. A high today of 85 and then a low of 70. We might have some AM rain or storms tomorrow, a high of 84 and a low of 67. And then 85, 84, 83, mid 80s really as we go all the way through Monday. We'll be checking in again with our aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore when we wrap up this week on Friday. All right, let's give you the news you can use. And we're going to start out with the St. Louis Rams. Remember them? What about all the money? Well, the ongoing process of deciding how to spend the city of St. Louis's $250 million plus share of the region's settlement with the NFL over the Rams' departure returns to the Board of Aldermen today. A committee of the whole meeting will focus on using the funds to improve wages for city employees or establishing a redevelopment loan fund. They're also talking about the possibility of water mains and traffic calming. That meeting will start at 3:30. It goes until 5:30 at the Kennedy Hearing Room at City Hall. If you want to watch it, though, it is also available online. Now we get into some national news. Opening statements today in President Joe Biden's son's trial. This is Hunter Biden. If you've been following this, it's set to begin today, the gun trial following jury selection yesterday. The president's son is facing 3 counts tied to possession of a gun while using narcotics. Now, he has pleaded not guilty. 2 of those counts accuse him of having completed a form indicating he was not using illegal drugs when he bought a revolver back in 2018. The 3rd count alleges he possessed a firearm while using a narcotic. We'll be following on that one for you, but again, he has pleaded not guilty. Let's move to some fun news. Have you caught this? A couple things going viral, and one of them happened in Washington, D.C. Take a look at this. I got to say, he is the one, though, the son of U.S. Representative John Rose. He actually stole the spotlight, but John is the one that told his son to smile at the camera for his younger brother. So he continued to make funny faces at the camera during his father's remarks on the House floor. The 6-year-old, you can see, was spotted making faces, smiling. He was also making little gestures with his hands, and evidently he was playing with a little green squeeze toy and continued to wave that at the camera. He just graduated from kindergarten, and then he came to, maybe this is the reason why you don't bring your kids to work with you. So that, by the way, that video was captured by C-SPAN of his oldest son, and his son's name is Guy. I thought you all would enjoy that today. Are you a Cyndi Lauper fan? You know, girls just want to have fun. Well, she announces her final tour, and if you want to go to it, as far as the closest to St. Louis, I was looking at this. They're going to kick it off on October 18th, 23 stops across North America, including her debut headlining performance, which will be at Madison Square Garden. Tickets available. The pre-sale will be today at 10 a.m. Then the general sales will be on Friday. The closest stop, by the way, will be in Nashville. That'll be Friday, November 1st. Or if you want to take a road trip to Chicago, she'll be there on December 5th. And I want to say another thing that went viral is from Adele. You know, she's got her residency tour in Las Vegas. Well, she scolded a fan last night who yelled, "Pride sucks," during her show. And I love this quote. She said, you know, we were taught this, by the way, by our moms and fathers. If you have nothing nice to say, shut up. That's what she told the heckler. That happened last night. Again, this is referring to Pride Month, which just kicked off in June. If you're a fan of Hollywood and Broadway, Janice Page died at the age of 101, and Rupert Murdoch marrying his 5th wife at the age of 93. Go, Rupert. All right, in sports, the Cardinals unfortunately losing to the Astros last night. The final score was 7-4. Same two teams tonight at 7:10. And the NHL and NBA finals are set. In fact, St. Louis will be represented in the NBA finals because Jason Tatum will be playing. The NBA finals will be Thursday at 7:30. That'll be the Mavericks and the Celtics. The same two teams will be Sunday at 7 p.m. for Game 2. And the Stanley Cup beginning on Saturday night in Florida. It's the Panthers against Edmonton. First time, by the way, a Canadian team has been in the Stanley Cup since the early 2000s. Puck drops at 7 o'clock on Saturday night in Florida. Game 2 will be Monday in Florida, and then they move to Edmonton on Thursday the 13th for Game 3. All right, you're all caught up. Now, we have a big show on tap for you today. 2 different things. From an entertainment standpoint, we get a chance to talk to one of the dancers involved in MJ the Musical at the Fabulous Fox. I told you about this last week. If you haven't gotten a chance to go yet or bought your tickets yet, your days are ticking away. You have until Sunday for the final show before they move out of St. Louis. And then we get a chance to speak with Julie Ingold, again, with Sunset Overlook. Super excited for this show. Don't go anywhere, and we'll keep an eye on your comments. Any questions or comments you want to make, we will be here for you. Thanks again for tuning into the show. We'll be right back.
She's a special woman and done so much for St. Louis.
Watching her work is one of the most incredible things you can see.
She just sees value in everyone.
Sometimes people just need you to sit with them and hear them. I feel heard.
The time flew by, and it was like sitting and talking to a friend.
Not only creating a better place here in St. Louis, but to inspire others. It's always great to have examples like you.
You have such a light and such a presence, and I could feel it this morning.
We knew right away when you started this, we wanted to be on your show. Thanks for having us.
I look forward to seeing how you rock and roll and shake it up.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I told you we were going to talk about an incredible show that I saw last week that you must get to see. Here's the outside as I was walking into the Fabulous Fox Theater. There's our tickets and the playbill. I was shifting through that and looking and saying, oh, I remember seeing this person. I remember seeing this person. And then right before we walked into the theater, took a picture by, of course, the picture of Michael Jackson, the musical. I can't get up on my toes like that, but oh my gosh, the dancers were unbelievable. And I'm going to talk to one of the dancers. My husband and I, huge smiles on our faces, not only at the beginning, but throughout the entire show. So let me introduce you to our guest, Chelsea Mitchell Bonsuit. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful. It's a pleasure.
Chelsea, I tell you what, I have been going to the Fox since I was a little girl, and I've seen show after show after show. However, I've got to put this one way, way, way up there. Major props to every single person on the cast, behind the scenes, musicians, as well as the set design, the costume design. I mean, seriously, I was like this with my jaw. Oh my gosh, I had to floor. It's jaw dropping for sure. So kudos to all of you. We're going to talk about the athleticism, etc. But for those who haven't seen, before we go deep into this with Chelsea and the role she plays and how excited she is with it, I just want to tease you a little bit because this is what you're missing if you haven't bought your ticket yet.
I said you want to be starting something. You got to be starting something. I said you want to be starting something. You got to be starting something. Lift your head up high, scream out to the world. I know I am someone that's the truth about. You can hurt you now because you know it's true. 'Cause I believe in me, so you believe in you. Help me sing
Oh my God, unbelievable. Yes, the music, the moves, the musical, you can see it right there. It is at the fabulous Fox Theater all the way through June 9th. And if you have not purchased your tickets yet, if I can't convince you, Chelsea's going to convince you. Chelsea, what does it mean to you to be a part of this unbelievable, as I said, jaw-dropping performance?
Wow. It honestly is, to say it this way, I was a Michael Jackson fan myself. I was 9 years old when he passed, and this is the closest I can get to dancing behind him. I'm fulfilling a little girl's dream by saying like, oh, one day I want to be in those music videos. I want to dance behind Michael Jackson, and now I'm somewhat getting the chance to. So it's a pretty great full circle experience. I also got a chance to see the show for the first time on Broadway before, like during the tour's rehearsal process.
Okay.
And I'd booked the job before I'd seen the show. So I'm like, I hope I like the show. And I went to see it and I was like, I get to be a part of this. Like, this is amazing. Like, it's so well written, so well crafted. The choreography, it just is, in my opinion, unlike any other musical I've seen.
I agree
and
with
I'm
you.
so blessed to be a part of it.
Well, yeah, absolutely blessed for sure. But I agree with you. You know, I did a review after I saw it last week, the very next morning, and I said, I'm just going to go on and on and on about this because what I felt, and I'm just going to give this to you as someone in the audience, and I'm sure you hear that because you could hear the people shouting out. They kept going, "Go on, Michael! Go, Michael!" And so one of the things that I felt was that people in the audience truly feel like they are seeing Michael Jackson, like they are in a concert. Do you feel that up on stage?
Well, after repetition, not quite, but the goal is to keep the audience engaged. I will say though, Roman Banks, our Michael that you most likely saw, he sounds just like Michael. And I remember in the rehearsal process, like the first time we heard him speak in his Michael voice and sing, we all were like, this is kind of weird. Like like they did a great job picking him, but then they also have a lot of people, a team that they create to help them really like have the essence of Michael. Like we have the Talawigo brothers, Rich and Tone, who actually worked and choreographed on Michael. They trained the Michaels for like, I want to say a 3-week boot camp before we even start rehearsals.
Really? What goes into a Michael Jackson boot camp?
It's kind of like secretive, I will say. Like they kind of been already knowing like the Michael isms. I think they have like definitely the moonwalk, definitely like they learned the timekeeper and like what foot he uses to stomp, like his fingers that all the poses and stuff. Like they really hone in on like, this is how Michael did it, this is the shape he was going for. And honestly brilliant to see them work. Like it's pretty great. We weren't a part of the boot camps, but once we get to
You got to have the
rehearsal and we
secret
see them
handshake to
still
get
kind of
in.
like sitting back. Yeah,
You know what,
like
Chelsea?
it's a whole ton of work that goes.
Well, absolutely. And so you were talking about the moonwalk, and I couldn't wait for that to happen. I knew it was coming. It was coming. You could feel that this is the
Mhm.
part that we all remember. And I knew that the crowd would go nuts. They did. As I said, when you go to this,
Yes.
you're going to shout out because you feel like you are watching Michael. And that if you didn't get a chance to ever see him when he was alive, there's the moonwalk right there, that you get an opportunity to see this play out. So when we went, I know Roman was sick. We were actually going to interview Roman last Tuesday. And Megan, who I work with at the Fox,
Okay.
she was telling us that he had gotten
Mhm.
sick. So I believe we saw the alternate. Is it
Jamal Fields
Jam-
Green. Yes.
how do you pronounce his name?
Jamal Fields Green.
It is Jamal. Okay.
Jamal Fields Green.
So I believe
Yes.
so. We saw the show on Wednesday. Was Jamal the Michael on Wednesday?
Yes, he was.
Yes. Okay, well, here's the deal,
Yes,
Chelsea.
he
I
was
can't imagine Roman
also
being better
brilliant.
than that. I mean, are you serious? He blew me away.
The way that they train these guys is like I don't know, like to me Jamal's dancing, I really enjoy watching him move. Like his mannerisms are very close to Michael's. So it's honestly like you can't, with any on Broadway here in London, eventually in other cities, they're really like honing in on making these guys as close to Michael as possible. So you can go to any show and be like, wow, this man is just like Michael. Like it is brilliant, I would say.
Brilliant. That is such a good word to say. If you're just tuning in again, Chelsea Mitchell Bonsu is my guest. One of the tour dancers. She's a dancer with the Isley brother, which you'll see in there, Nicholas brother. She got engaged, I understand, to her fiance at the Vanguard Arts Hotel in St. Louis just a couple of Christmases ago. And your husband actually travels with the show. He's a photographer, is that right?
Yes, he is.
Well, what does he say about you being able to be a part of this?
He's very supportive. He gets all the brunt of it. When I come home, I'm like exhausted. So he's like, okay, let's just take your shower. Come on, you gotta keep moving. But he is literally my backbone. I guess everything you'd assume a husband could be on this tour. He's very good. Every once in a while, he acts as the child wrangler, or I don't like using that word.
Wait. The
guardian.
child wrangler. What is that?
Apparently, that's like the actual word that describes the job, but they're the guardian of
Okay. He takes care of the kids.
They take care of the kids, and we have 3 young boys. They cannot get enough of him. Like I used to be their best friend in the show. Once they met my husband, I didn't exist anymore, and that kind of hurt my feelings, but I understand. Like he's a really great guy. So yeah, like the cast love him. They use his resources with a lot of photo shoots that they have to do. Roman has done a few photo shoots with him. He photographs a good number of the celebrities that have come to the show. Yeah, it's honest. It's a pleasure to have him. The last 2 tours I was on, he wasn't with me, so I'm over the moon excited that he's here.
Absolutely. So you talked about coming home and being exhausted. Can we discuss the athleticism? I mean, what you all have that plays out on stage is remarkable. And I just said, and you are, I mean, especially the Michaels, right? Whether it's Jamal or Roman, they are pretty much on stage for almost every single act. They get a little bit of a break, but what do you have to go through? What type of training to be ready for this?
I would say it's different for everybody. The majority of the people in this cast, I would say, had a lot of years and years of technical training: ballet, modern, jazz, maybe a little bit of hip hop, tap, but every genre, every area of dance you possibly could get. I've been dancing pretty much since I could walk. My parents owned a dance studio, and I have 3 older sisters. So as soon as I was able to dance, they were like, all right, let's just put her in some classes, see how she feels. And I decided at 8 years old that I wanted to pursue dance. So I started to take class more seriously. I attended Debbie Allen's Dance Academy in LA. And from there, I went to school for dance. I went to Point Park University and got my BFA in modern dance. Yes, I minored in musical theater, but a lot and a lot of hours, a lot of years of technical training is what I'd say.
Absolutely. Well, and so, you dream big, and, I always look
Mhm.
back at young kids when their parents introduce them to dance, whatever form, and to allow you to learn so many different aspects, as you said, because you never know where you're going to take with it. As you
Yes.
were growing up and learning that, what were your dreams? Where did you say, I want to be in Broadway, I want to do musical theater, or and I guess also having
Mhm.
that question, where do you see yourself going from here?
Wow. It's yes, and I'd say I as a kid I wanted to dance, but I also love to sing and act. And for whatever reason, I didn't know that they could go together until like a certain age. I didn't really know much about Broadway or musicals. I saw musical movies, but I like my first time seeing a musical on a Broadway stage was actually MJ. I'd seen other musicals, of course, because I've done other musicals,
Sure.
but my first Broadway musical was MJ. So yeah, I've always known I wanted to dance and sing and act, but I didn't really put them together and actually start pursuing theater until my senior year of high school.
Okay.
I booked my very first professional job at Baltimore Center Stage as a dancer, and I was like, this is really cool. There were so many other um, actors who came from New York to do this project. It was an original production, and I met so many of my mentors and people that I still am connected with because I was in high school. They were like grown, so um,
You're just a baby.
yes, I was literally a baby, but I stayed connected with them, and I was like, I really enjoy this. I really love how it makes the audience feel. I love how it makes me feel, and I like doing the same show every day. This is great. Like I love this. So once I went to college, I decided to minor in musical theater, and by senior year of college, I was on my first tour. So
Incredible. Again, I mean, you're in one of the best, but you've also been in Cats, Mean
yes,
Girls, Regional Soul, the Stax musical.
yes.
And here's the thing, a big part of my show, Chelsea, is always about faith. And I love this. I was told that you say that you are immensely grateful to God, your husband that you talked about, family, and your agency, of course, for their love and support. But tell me what role faith plays in your life.
Massive. It's very, very huge. Everything I do, the reason I'm here is to honor and glorify God. Like that. The reason I'm yes, the reason I am doing what I do. I don't always know the extent of my purpose in every job that I have because honestly, like Michael Jackson the musical isn't necessarily bringing people to Christ, but in my using my gifts as ministry, and when conversations like this, opportunities like this come out of nowhere. This is this is pretty cool that I get to talk about my faith because most people don't really ask, but I think it has a very, very big role, I must say. I don't take jobs unless I hear confirmation. So,
You gave me so I'm
so
so glad I asked it then because you know what, Chelsea, when I started this show, so I was in television and radio for 30 years. And when I left and I started this talk show, everybody thought, oh, are you afraid to talk about faith? And I said, no, and we need to be more authentic. We need to
yes,
put it out there because I think people are longing for it. They just don't know that
I
they
don't
are.
know. Yes,
Yes,
I agree. I agree.
you're my
Oh,
soul sister.
yes, yes.
Well, I
I
am
could
so,
go on and on.
absolutely. We could talk for hours about this.
Yes.
I am so proud of you, and please pass along. I'm hoping that we get a chance. We're trying to set up an interview with Roman or Jamal if we can before the show wraps up, because I just want to continue to talk to everybody that played a role in this. From a little girl growing up, I also danced. I did ballet and tap, and I looked at all this, and I get the biggest smile of all of you that continue to follow your dream and play this out. So before we wrap up, is there a musical that you just absolutely love that you want to manifest and put out there and say, I want to be in this? What would that be?
I would have to say, ever since when I said I want to do theater, my dream role is Nala in The Lion King.
Oh,
So
yes.
I guess there's that. That's honestly something I have friends who are currently Nala, and I'm like, how do you feel? Like, what's the show like? What do you? So yes, I that is a goal.
Let's make it happen. Let's make this happen for Chelsea, everybody. I can so see you in that role. Well, you are a pleasure, and I'm hoping to actually get a chance to see it again before it wraps up on June 9th. This is the wrap up of the season before the next musicals come into play. And by the way, if you haven't seen, there is a big rundown of some new shows that have not been to the Fox before, as well as obviously some old favorites. But I'm excited. Back to the Future is coming to the Fabulous Fox, and I know a lot of people would like to see that. They've got 6 coming back. Let me think. I'm trying to think if Wicked is. Wicked is one of my favorites. I could see you doing Wicked as well. By the way,
I've been in for it a few times.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, again, I'm just so glad that we had a chance to visit and get an opportunity to know a little bit about you. I can't wait to see and follow your career and where you go from this. But again, everybody, I want to make sure you grab one of these and read up about Chelsea and the rest of the cast of what they've done, and then tell us what you felt about the show, because you will be absolutely blown away. Chelsea, please do me a favor and tell everybody that has a role in this how absolutely incredible they did. And I'm thrilled that I had a chance to see it, because I've got some of my favorites out there, but this now has gone into the top. I couldn't believe it. My husband and I both were like, "Are you kidding me? This is like." So then I had a bunch of viewers ask. They said, "Oh, do they do Thriller?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you. You got to go see it.
You got to see it. You got to watch the whole show."
Absolutely. So, in your closing, what would you say is your absolute favorite, so that people go and buy their tickets that they're going to see when the show's over every night? I'm sure maybe it changes up because there's different enthusiasm and passion and energy brought each night. But when you all wrap up, what would you want to tell the audience that you hope that they walked away with?
I hope, this is a good question. I honestly hope that they walk away with more understanding, more grace and mercy towards human beings. Because we look at Michael and we saw him as this otherly entity, and he was inhuman. Like, he just was so perfect, so like his performances were so explosive, and he had so much going on behind the scenes. Like, the allegations kind of just wiped away. He just had so much going on, and for him to still, this has to be perfect, and I need to do this, and I have to go on tour. Like, it just like kind of, as when I saw the show, I was like, oh my goodness, like I was crying, I was laughing, it just is honestly really interesting to see that, like, he was a person. And he had a lot of pitfalls. A lot of people think like, oh, there has to be like a villain in the show. And I'm always like, not necessarily. Like, you kind of just see that people are human and they go through things and they struggle, but we prevail as well. So I hope that people take away the humbleness of it and just like feel the motivation that they can do anything they put their mind to, but also recognizing that there is grace for when I fall short. There is, because I don't want to get into a place of like perfectionism. That's not what we're here for. So yeah.
Chelsea, it's so crazy that you said that, and that's how we're wrapping up, because when I gave my review last week, my show was about perfectionism and the dangers of it. That's crazy, because you didn't see that show. I know that you didn't see that show, because you all were probably sleeping when I was on.
This is crazy. I've been reading this book on perfectionism.
Let me see that again. Who was the author of that?
June Hunt.
Oh my gosh, I need that.
The performance.
That, and I took that message away when I kept hearing him say, I was thinking about what the topic was that I wanted to do on my show the next day. And I'm like, I'm going to switch it around. I'm absolutely doing perfectionism. And if we all understand that we will never be perfect, there is only one entity, and that is God, that is perfect. And we are made in his likeness. We are imperfect human beings. We just always need to bring our best to the table, right? And you all play that out. You could tell that everybody brought their best, but not perfect. And if we take the perfectionism off of our shoulders and off of our spirit, then we can operate a little bit better. So I'm so glad you said that. You gave me chills when you said it. It plays out. You're going to learn about his life. It goes back and forth. And then you see the tour, and then it goes back and you learn his upbringing, his father, his siblings, and so much pressure that was put on him by the family, by the world, by each and every one of us, of what they wanted in him. And you just wonder how in the world he made it through every day. It just seemed exhausting, right? Yeah. Chelsea, thank you. I hope I get a chance to meet you in person, because again, I'm going to get some tickets. I got to see it again before the 9th wraps up. So tickets available at the Fabulous Fox box office. You can get them online. Do not miss this show. Chelsea, thank you. You are an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Again, it's through June 9th, and I'm going to tease you just maybe one more time as we wrap up the show, an opportunity for you to go and see MJ the Musical at the Fabulous Fox Theater through June 9th. Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you.
I said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. I said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. Lift your head up high, scream out to the world. I know I am someone that's the truth about. You won't get hurt you now because you know it's true. 'Cause I believe in me, so you believe in you. Help me sing that.
Hey, the Real Monica Adams listeners. This is Abby Stallschmidt. You may know me as an electric violinist who has performed with various bands in the area, and I'm excited to personally invite you to my premiere at the Sheldon Concert Hall on June 5th at 8 p.m. You'll hear my new symphonic rock music as well as classic rock and pop covers, all backed by a string orchestra, full band, and multiple guest instrumentalists and vocalists throughout the night. It's truly going to be an awesome time. Head on over to metrotix.com or the Sheldon Concert Hall to get your tickets for the Dream Machine concert on June 5th at 8 p.m. I cannot wait to see you there.
I'm super excited to be there, and I know a lot of you are going to see her show as well. Look at that. You know, I wouldn't say that today is not a pool day. Just be weather aware for some pop-up storms that are possible, but wouldn't you like to have that in your backyard? That could be your dream. Make it a reality. That's Just Pools, our friends that are one of our newest sponsors. They're on the West Outer Road in Arnold, Missouri. One of the biggest things a lot of people have done is those wonderful features. You see that rock feature, the fire, the water feature outside of the pool. You know, they just had their big Memorial Day sale, and I hope some of you took advantage of it, because you could get a pool as early as this fall. They even gave $5,000 in upgrades for people adding steps and things like that. Besides above ground and in-ground pools, they have all the chemicals you need, and of course all the fun toys. I want you to support those that support us, so all the information is right there. Just Pools. They are the pool and spa specialists, so maybe you want a hot tub to add to it as well. 3987 West Outer Road in Arnold, 636-464 7110. Thank you again to Madonna and the staff at Just Pools for coming on board with us. We're thrilled to have you as part of our team. Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Chelsea. Wasn't she a doll? And I love some of the comments that you said. You enjoyed seeing her at the Fox. If you haven't bought the tickets, maybe you will now. You don't want to miss that one. I told you we've got two big things on tap for you today. That was the first. And now our second half hour, Julie Ingold, who is the owner of Sunset Overlook, is in studio with me. And we're looking forward to our big show next Thursday, our live show, as we watch the sunset together. Let me bring her on set, first of all. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm thrilled. You and I have been talking about this for a while now. We're excited not only for our show together, but your big anniversary. 6 years, Julie.
6
Congrats.
years. Thank you so much. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but me and my husband are very passionate about it, and we love what we're doing.
Absolutely. So for those of you that haven't been, and let me kind of give the background, which I think is just the funniest thing. Michelle, my assistant, and that a lot of you know, she and I were looking to have a meeting one day, and we were looking on a map of, hey, because we want to go and grab a glass of wine while we were meeting, and I looked on just a regular map of wine options around our area. And I happened to spread out the map a little bit coming from South County, and it had a couple on the Illinois side that were near me. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And I just happened to click on it. And I looked and I saw these pictures pop up, and I'm like, what is this? And why don't I know about it? That's how it all came about. And I called it a God wink. And so Michelle happened to reach out to Julie, and she's like, yeah, I'd love to have you guys do a show out here. So that was definitely God's way of shining the sun down on us and saying, hey, you got to know about this place. Also, a lot of people, Julie, have said, we want you to come on the Illinois side. Come and do a show over here. And I said, yeah, I want to. So we're going to talk about the last 6 years, but let's go back even deeper into past years about purchasing the property. So that was what, 2013?
Yes, we purchased it in 2013. It was an old farmhouse that had been vacant for a few years. So it took us 5 years to open. We gutted it ourselves down to the original, the brick, and found doors that we didn't even know were there because they were plastered over. So it was quite a project.
An undertaking?
It was quite an undertaking. So me and my husband literally did that part of it, taking down drywall, paneling, wallpaper. I mean, there was layers. So after we did that, and while we were going and getting our license, business license and stuff like that, we maintained the property. The property is 5.5 acres, so it's incredible. And then we hired contractors to help us put it back together.
So, to come out of the corporate world, so you worked with AT&T and IBM, right? Corporate America.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people that either watching the show or through people that I have life coached that have said, I have something burning inside of me. I've got a different passion. I think I want to shift a little bit. Was that what was happening to you, or how did this all come about?
It unfolded, and it was not a plan. It was not a dream. I retired from AT&T, and we saw this property, and it was like, this is the kind of place that we would like to go to. Let's make something out of this, and let's preserve the history of the house. So it just unfolded. No plan, didn't know what we were doing. My husband's an engineer for IBM, or he was, and I was in project management and communications at AT&T, and this is where we landed.
What a beautiful picture of the two of you sitting out by the sunset. So who picked the name?
The name was just obvious because the sunset every night is incredible. It just, you don't think it can get better, but guess what? It does.
Every night you're like, oh, that one's better. That one's better.
Yeah.
So Julie actually had looked on June 13th, and she said, oh, the sun's going to set that night at 8:27. So that's why we decided to do our show that night at 7 o'clock. So when we do these mobile Monicas, they don't have to be during the live show. They could be happy hours. They could be in the evening. This is our first evening one, which we're excited about. We're going to give you a rundown of the night. We're going to do giveaways. There's music, great food. We're going to show you some food and some of the drink specials as well. But Julie, as you come up on 6 years, what are you most proud of that you've been able to provide to the Columbia, Illinois area? And really, people are coming from all over, but a true gem in Columbia.
That it's a community gathering space. It's beautiful property that we feel like we're the shepherds of. It's God's property, and we just were determined to share it with everybody. And you're right. We get half people are probably local, and half the people from Missouri or other counties in Illinois. But we have a big customer base.
What's the longest someone has driven to come see you? That you've heard? Because sometimes people come and they might not even tell you how far they've come.
I'm not sure about that because I've had people from California that came in for something else, and then they had to see our place, and I don't know how they heard about it, but they didn't drive to Columbia for that.
Just from California.
Yeah, I know people from Chesterfield and St. Charles. They come to there, so
sure.
That's probably the furthest I know, but.
Again, if you're just tuning in, Julie Ingold, the owner of Sunset Overlook. If you've never heard of them, that's why I wanted to bring them on. One of the greatest things that we love to do on this show is shine the spotlight on wonderful human beings, great business owners, let you know about places, small businesses, so big on you supporting small businesses. So you open up 5 years after you purchase the property. Again, blood, sweat, and tears. Wasn't the easiest, right, to open?
Not at all.
And then in 2018, you finally opened the doors, but you are staying open during a pandemic, which, talk about that. Talk about how difficult, because there's a lot of businesses that would have loved to, but they couldn't, that they had to shutter and close their doors and had hoped to reopen, but they just couldn't do it. How hard was it for you?
Oh, it was very hard because we're not known for to-go food, even though we have people do that. We're known for the ambiance, the place, the setting. So people come there for the view. So we're not going to get a lot of to-go orders, right? So for a while we were closed down, but then we came up with an idea because we have sangrias, and that's been our #1 seller for cocktails since we opened, to do sangria kits to go.
And you had a dog that would show up for its mom, right?
Yes. We had that oval window in the back. And so that's where we served it out because you can't come in during COVID.
Right.
So, yeah, we had
what was the dog's name? Stephanie?
Stephanie and Hank.
So Hank would come to the window during COVID so his mom could get a sangria kit to go. Isn't that hilarious? We have a couple dog pictures. So Hank is one of them. And then Dory, you're talking about the sunset. Dory came and watched the sunset 2 to 3 times a week?
Yes. Yep, there she is. So Dory was getting pretty old, and they eventually had to put her down. But the night before they put her down, they made sure she watched the sunset at Sunset Overlook.
Oh, come on. That's like a movie. That's right out of a movie script. 2 to 3 times a week, and then her final night was for her to watch where she was going, right? She's going up to the end of the rainbow and watching that sunset. How beautiful. Is she a Great Dane? Looks like maybe a Great Dane.
Yes.
Poor baby. But again, wonderful for you to have that. Do we have the picture, Zach, of Hank? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah? There we go. That's
Hank and Stephanie.
Hank saying, hello, can I have a sangria kit? My mom needs a sangria kit. How fun and how cute. You are obviously dog friendly there.
We are dog friendly, yes.
Which is huge because I don't know, some people might not like it, but all of us that have dog kids, because I didn't have regular kids, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Do I have them on a leash or make sure they're well behaved?
Yeah, definitely. You have to have them on the leash and outside. The front porch is fine too.
So there's a look, by the way. We've got a video showing you all the wonderful people who have enjoyed. She mentioned 5 acres. So the thing I love when we went there, obviously the inside's a lot of fun, but that beautiful patio in front overlooking the field. And there's a small plane or airport there, right?
Yes, there is. It's just a private club with, and if they're flying and they see us out there or anybody on the porch, they like to hot dog and, come real close to the house. So when you're there on June 13th, we're going to have...
It's happening? We got a surprise for you, which is the reason why you have to come out. It's a secret, but something's going to happen. We had talked about that a couple of months ago. I'm glad that we're going to have that come to fruition. So I'm not going to tell you. You just have to come out for it that night. Again, Sunset Overlook. You want to give your address for those who've never been there before?
Absolutely. 11604 Bluff Road, Columbia, Illinois, 62236.
There you go, 11604 Bluff Road. Again, if you have not been, then the best night for you to come might be on the 13th when we are there. There's their business hours, Monday through Sunday. Girl, you never take a break.
No. And we actually now on Saturday and Sunday open at 11.
At 11? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to the website, or what's the best social for them to follow you on? Facebook?
Facebook.
Are you on Instagram also?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
But Facebook has more of the information than Instagram.
Yeah, so that's the one that we've been following. I actually tagged you in the description. I'm going to take a quick break. If you've got any comments, if you've been before, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink? We're going to talk about some of those drinks, and we're going to show you some announcements that they had made about some of the martinis. Sangrias obviously are extremely popular. Maybe we'll get sometimes people won't give up their recipes, but maybe we'll get the recipe from Julie. More with Julie Ingold from Sunset Overlook when we return.
When I started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, $25. My Pillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
All right, welcome back. Yeah, we're so thrilled that Mike has come on with us. So yes, use your code, Monica Adams. I have the huge body pillow, by the way, that I slept on last night. And that's why I've been sleeping so well. My pillow, as well as my body pillow. So yes, get whatever you want from their website. Welcome back, 7:45, and it is the Real Monica Adams Show with Julie Ingold. That's our spotlight guest today from Sunset Overlook. A lot of you have told me that you're coming on the 13th, which thrills me. Rich Melching is on, and he's talking about bringing his posse. Stephanie Newbill, and then there is a viewer of our show who you actually went to school with, I believe, right? Julie Purcell?
Yes.
Was it high school, college?
High school.
High school. Well,
Yes.
shout out to Julie. I'm sure she'll be there. Kathleen Morris has told me she's coming. Crystal Gale is coming, not the singer, but one of our viewers. How many of you are coming to see us that night? If you can, it's from 7 to 8:30 or definitely to 8:27 when that sun sets. You have music that will be out there that night, and it's a woman who, did you say, made the A-list?
Yes, she's one of the final 5 for the A-list for a local musician.
Well, congrats.
Her name is Miranda Berry. Go vote for her and come listen to her. She is incredible.
She's obviously country?
Yes.
Or a
She's
mix?
a singer-songwriter. She's a mix, but mainly country.
Okay.
But she writes her own songs, too, so she plays. And I think she's up and coming. I think she's going to go somewhere.
Really? And she draws a big crowd, right?
Yes, she does.
So between her big crowd and our big crowd, you're going to be packed that night. How many people can you have gathering all over the property? You got 5 acres, so we might be up on the hill.
So the patios and everything, it's usually about 150.
Okay, so let's pack the place that night. So we just talked about the music. We'll have some fun giveaways. We'll do a little trivia. And you also have a bunch of guests that we're going to feature that night. You had talked about when we did our Just Be Kind Cafe celebration, we had several people in the area. And Julie loved that. She's like, you know what? I couldn't do this without those that are around me, right?
Correct.
It takes a village.
Yes, yes. There's many times when we were going through COVID and other issues, I would have gave up if I didn't have the support of customers. I mean, they just lifted us up like you would not believe.
Yeah.
So,
The customers and then also business. I mean, again, businesses should always be supporting businesses.
Absolutely.
And you've got that in your neighbors.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. So who are we going to feature that night that are going to be on with us?
Let me take a look here.
Yes, you have that.
We're gonna.
We're also going to
have
talk,
one
by
of
the
the-
way, about some of the martinis they have. If you're a martini fan, they've got an incredible martini we're going to show you in just a second.
So I'm working on getting one of the Schlimmers. This is the Schlimmer Schneider farmhouse.
Okay.
Farmstead. And one of the guys that grew up there, I'm working on getting him to come talk about the history of the house.
Oh,
so
I
that'll
love
be cool.
that.
That'll
Yes.
be really cool. Then we have Margraff from Memory Lane. She just recently took over an existing floral shop in Columbia.
Oh, yeah. I think when we were there was a bouquet of her flowers.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
and she will be giving out a prize.
Oh, there we go.
Then we have Bethany Reinhold. She is the owner of Dear Diva Desserts in Columbia on Main Street, and they are incredibly delicious. She will be there to talk about her dessert bar, and she will also have a prize for us.
See? Giveaways galore. That's why you want to be there on the 13th.
I'm hoping to have Heidi Donald, and I'm sure that she just hasn't responded yet, but she owns Renew Body and Mind.
Okay.
So it's a holistic,
Oh.
comprehensive spa.
That fits with our show.
I'll be asking her to give away a free float. She has the floats.
Oh, if you've never had those, it's so... You want to talk about calming the mind and the spirit and the body and just be immersing in the float. If you've never done a float before, I did one of those years ago. I haven't done it in a while. I was hoping they were still around. Have you done one?
I have.
Yeah, right? What was your experience afterwards?
I loved it. It was
Just
very
serenity,
good.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so relaxing.
Zen.
Yes.
Good. Very cool.
And then Candy Graves owns Graceful Gatherings. She's not able to attend, but she will be given a prize, a charcuterie board.
Oh, yummy, yummy.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love charcuterie?
And let's see, who else?
Adult Lunchables, we call those.
I have Melissa Kapler-Smith. This is a niece of a girl I went to high school with that just connected with me and said, my niece has this business that she just started called Not Broken Hats. And I said, well, how about I feature her when we go live with Monica on June 13th. So this girl is ecstatic.
Oh, great.
And she'll be giving away a hat.
Oh, fantastic. Gosh, you got a lot of good giveaways. Again, this is the reason why you have to be there. We're going to do a lot of these for those that are there who made the effort to come out to grab friends and family and are going to be there that evening. We might do some also for those that are watching that night that couldn't make it out, but we love the idea of you supporting those that support us. So you mentioned earlier, Julie, that sangrias have been a staple since you opened your doors back in 2018.
Yes.
Why do you think people are so drawn to that?
Maybe because they're made right there at Sunset. They're homemade. They're not like in a bottle or in a can that you buy and purchase. They're just made fresh, probably every day, because that's how many we go through.
Really?
Yes.
So
we can go through
regular sangrias?
68 sangrias.
Like the regular sangria, because we're looking at the caramel apple sangria.
So what we have is we always have two regular ones that are always on the menu, and that is the red berry sangria and the peach sangria.
Do you have fresh fruit in the bottom of it?
Yes.
Yes.
So then we also have a special one. So we usually have three, but the two are staples.
Okay.
And the third one could be caramel apple. We usually do that in October. It is a very big hit.
Sure.
Right now we have a sparkling pineapple.
Oh, wow, that sounds
top
good.
it with a little champagne.
Oh, yummy.
We have strawberry basil. I think there's a picture of the strawberry basil.
There you go, right there.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect for the summer.
Yes.
Oh, nice and refreshing.
So our special one right now is the sparkling pineapple.
Okay, so there
we'll
you go.
We'll probably go to that one next.
Strawberry basil next?
Yeah.
Save one of those. I need one of those on the 13th. Strawberry basil would I just love that combination. So sangrias are really popular, but if you're a martini fan, you have a s'mores martini?
We have a s'mores martini right now. Yeah, there we go. We have a key lime martini right now. We have
look at that. That's true mixology
now,
right
and
there.
Don't ask me what's in the bikini one because I don't remember.
Martini. Yeah. Awesome.
So we change the special ones every 2 months.
Don't you love, being in the industry for the last, 6 years almost, is to watch true mixology happen behind the bar. I was a bartender for, about 4 or 5 years when I was in college, putting myself through school, and before I started in radio. I loved what we did back then. And, I remember the movie with Tom Cruise, Cocktail. I would try to flip those things around. That was fun, but we didn't do the level of what they're doing now. I mean, the things they put in drinks, they put egg whites in drinks, folks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of crazy things, but I love to see that someone's just not, and that's why they enjoy the drink so much, because there's a lot of art and a lot of passion put in them, right?
Absolutely.
She got the Bunsen burner out.
Yes.
So again, sangrias and martinis. What about food? What are you most known for food?
Pretzel bites and cheesy roast beef sandwich.
Cheesy roast beef. Okay, and I actually took a picture of the menu while we were there. We got the cheesy pretzel bites. We enjoyed those. I'm a big fan of fish tacos. Are those grilled or are those breaded? They're baked actually.
They're baked. We don't have any fryers, so everything's baked.
Good girl. You're following my health mind.
Yeah.
Yes. So what's your absolute favorite? If we had to pick Julie's favorite on the menu.
It's the Mexican street corn flatbread.
Oh, yum.
Yes. So we have flatbreads that we make in-house. We also have Gallagher's Pizza, which is a local company. So we have those, but the flatbreads we make in-house, and they're really good.
Mexican street corn flatbread pizza. You got to love that. Again, things that are different. So when you were putting the menu together, where'd you get your inspiration from?
Well, we put our menu together. We had a lot smaller menu.
Okay.
And we were told to go small at the beginning and, work your way up. So we have a pretty big menu for a very small kitchen now.
Yeah.
It was what our kitchen can handle because we don't have fryers, we don't have hoods. So we wanted to keep it simple.
And do you have seasonal food that you would do?
We usually have a special of the month. My chef just moved away, so we're still doing the Mexican streetcar and flatbread, which I think we're putting on the menu
For always?
for always.
Good.
But we should be getting back to doing a food special every month.
There you go. So food, great drinks. And the thing that I love that you mentioned when you were giving me some bullet points for today is that people might come there and sit next to someone and they're like, oh, how long have you been here? How many times have you come, etc. And then they have this wonderful friendship that forms. And so they come as strangers, but they leave as friends and family, right? Have you heard that a lot?
All the time. And even us, me and my husband have really close friends now that we met at Sunset Overlook.
There you go. We were talking earlier about the front of the property. So when we came, it was just like the overhang that we stopped at and we were taking some pictures. But obviously people kind of fill out onto the grassy area and that's the view you're getting. I mean, that's the most unbelievable view. When did you get those igloos? Because that's one of my favorite things. Was that during COVID?
Yeah, it was during COVID because of the social distancing. We would rent it and then we'd have a half hour between rentals so we could, go clean it and stuff like that. So that was part of COVID.
Sure.
And then it just became popular. So we tried to get 2, but there's the wind there.
Oh, that's a good picture.
The wind there is incredible. So
well, that's what I was going to ask you.
We didn't have a space to put a second one that would be safe. It is bolted down.
Okay, and I think I asked you that question. I was like, how does this not just get whipped away?
But we had another one bolted down in a different spot.
And it did?
The wind took it.
Holy cow.
So this is our only spot.
Okay.
But it's nice. And this is a newer igloo. At first we had a zipper that would get stuck, but now it has those nice sliding doors that you see.
This is fancy.
Yes.
You're fancy in Columbia, Illinois. So you have to rent those, right?
Yes.
Okay, but not just that. You also have some really cool spaces in the back.
Gazebos.
Yes, and those are also, a couple of those are for rent?
Yes, you can rent them, or if they're not rented, those are first come, first served.
Oh, okay. And there you go. So there's a look for you. Just if you've never been, as I mentioned, you have so many different areas that you are going to want to see. We were talking about where we were going to be set up. I'm torn because I have so many favorite spots, but I think we're going to be inside so that the music can be outside. We're going to probably be right there, I would think, in the corner. Don't you think that's a good spot for us?
Yes.
So you can come and gather with us inside, run around outside, have a drink, meet some new friends, and then we'll be walking around the property showing you all of this. But I just wanted to kind of give you a sneak peek today because it truly is stunning, and I know you're excited. So besides our show next Thursday, what are you doing special on your actual anniversary on the 6th year?
We have another band, Dos Amigos, which is a very fun band, sing along. We have a food truck. We have our kitchen, but when we are very, very crowded, we bring a food truck, and that gives you other options too. So and this is a new food truck, so I have to see what his name is. It's Big Rick's Meats and Eats.
Big Rick's Meats and Eats.
Yes.
Okay.
He's got pork, he's got chicken, he's got brisket, and then the sides are all the mac and cheese, French fries, green beans, he's got a big menu.
Oh, yeah, that's
And I'm
diverse.
looking forward to meeting him, actually.
Right. And so your actual anniversary is June 23rd, right?
Sunday,
Yes.
June 23rd.
Okay, and so that's just going to be an all-day fun fair. You're going to have 2 big days and nights that you should be packed.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We will be very packed.
So from like all day long, are you going to have specials on your actual anniversary?
Yes. And last year we got a dunk tank, and we raised money for a local child that had cancer, and it was a big hit because the people that we had in the dunk tank were other owners of different restaurants, bars, and our aldermen, just people that are like, oh, I want to get him,
Exactly. Yeah, give me that ball again. I missed. Give me the ball again.
And I'm going to do the charity Songs for Soldiers.
I saw that, yes.
This year. And I'm also, one of the prizes when you're there is 2 VIP tickets to the Songs for Soldiers concert.
Who's playing this year?
The big headliners are Chris Jansen.
Oh,
on Friday,
absolutely.
And then Gin Blossoms on Saturday.
Oh, very cool. Yes.
So, yeah, they'd have to pick which day whoever wins, they want to go.
Okay.
But, yeah, VIP, you get up front, you get the free bar, so
well, we have to come up with a good question for that one. That's a big one. If you've never been to their concerts, they put on one heck of a festival. Again, Songs for Soldiers. I love that. So again, 2 big things we want you to put on the schedule. First is ours. Next Thursday, June 13th, 7 p.m. is when we'll start. We'll be there earlier. We'll be setting up. I'm sure we'll come even earlier and have dinner so we can enjoy. Because trust me, once the show is underway, I will not be able to eat. I might be able to have a drink, but it'll be just like hit the gas from 7 p.m. all the way through the sun setting. Come out for the music, come out for the food, come out for the drinks, come out for the view, obviously, come out for the special surprise in the sky that we're not telling you about until it happens that evening, and then leave there as friends and make plans to come back for the big 6-year anniversary on June 23rd, because there's going to be great music that day as well, and obviously, as Julie just mentioned, a lot of food. Anything that we didn't touch on that you want to?
I don't think so. And,
Yep.
and if I forgot something, we can do it on June 13th.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, we definitely will. We'll revisit some of this, but we're going to get a chance to just enjoy the view, enjoy the camaraderie, and enjoy the celebration of almost 6 years of passion, blood, sweat, tears. But I love the fact that it wasn't on the radar and it just happened.
Yeah.
That's just super cool. God said, you're not done. You want to retire? You're not retired.
No, there's no retirement for you.
But when you love what you do, you wake up every morning and just, you feel blessed, don't you?
Absolutely.
And people just keep coming back. So as we wrap up, what does the community say is the reason that they keep returning and returning?
It's probably the sunset and the sangria. Sunset and sangrias.
That's a country song. Marion needs that needs to be her next
Yes.
song. I'm sure also, though, that it's your staff, it's your customer service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
I have a
sangria and
great
sunset.
staff.
There we go. Sunset Overlook. That's one of the prettiest pictures. You've got so many, though. Be sure to bring your cameras that night, both on the 13th and on the 23rd, to take your own and then share those with us, because I'd like to see who captures the best one as we wrap up our show. There we go. That's another good one. As we do our show on the 14th the next morning, I hope to get some of those sent to me. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. All right, we are going to wrap up our show with our devotional, 100 Days to Freedom. So yesterday we did the one on depression. How about we do shame? We haven't done that one in a while. So we'll end with a little faith. 100 Days to Freedom. Those books, by the way, are from Stephen Arterburn. We'll do that, and we'll give you all the information you need one more time right after the break. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment, or online, EnvitaHealthAndWellness.com. Welcome back. Thanks again for tuning in to today's show. We covered a lot. MJ the Musical with Chelsea, our dancer. Great interview with her, and a wonderful interview with my friend Julie Ingold, who owns Sunset Overlook. I picked Yellow because we're talking about sunsets. That's the book of 100 Days to Freedom from Shame, our daily devotionals. I know a lot of you have said that you've enjoyed these, bringing a little faith into the end of the show. This one's called End or Mend. There is a time to tear and a time to mend. 4 things can happen to a relationship. It can thrive, it can stay the same, it can deteriorate, and it can end. When a relationship is a source of trouble in your life, it needs to end. Maybe the person you're in the relationship with is a bad influence on you. You know, I always talk about how does it serve you. Maybe he or she has different values and pressures you to compromise your convictions or drags you down emotionally. If you're battling shame, it's quite possible that you can trace the source of your trouble back to your involvement with someone who wasn't good for you or isn't good for you right now. But even when we know a relationship is unhealthy, we often have a hard time ending it. Part of that reluctance you have might be the belief that God can change people. Another part certainly has to do with how painful it is to let go of someone who has meant a lot to you and with whom you had a lot of history. Even if it's a painful one, it's still shared experience, which can have a very bonding effect. But as today's verse says, there's a time to tear away. There's a time when the only sensible option is to actually end that relationship. and then move on. Whatever pain or disappointment you feel in that decision will be more than made up by the lessening of pain and the trouble in your life. The world's full of people who never found happiness and peace until they were set free from the bonds of an unhealthy association. Henry Cloud says, endings are the reason you are not married to your prom date, nor still working in your first job. Yep, without the ability to do endings well, we flounder, we stay stuck, and fail to reach our goals and our dreams. So the prayer we leave you with is, Lord Jesus, help me not to be dependent on anyone but you. Make it known to me when I am clinging to a relationship that needs to be ended, and give me the courage to do it. In fact, if you do it now, maybe you'll find the person who's waiting for you on June 13th at sunset. Maybe we'll make a little match made in heaven there. I'm sure a lot of them have been made since they come as people, they don't know each other, and they leave as friends and family. And maybe they even leave and say, hey, we're going to have a date here on the 6th anniversary. So let's give you everything that you need. And I actually had a lot of people commenting saying that they're going to be there. Julie Fabian said it's her husband's birthday, but he's working, so she's going to come solo. Somebody said Dos Amigos is a great band. All of you that are getting a chance to come that night, we would, someone said, would you consider a sangria flight to sample all the sangrias, since I probably can't just choose one? Do you ever do flights?
We only when we have specials. It's not a normal thing, but I will do that.
Okay, there you go. Just for you, Kathy. Just for you for coming out. She's coming out there with her husband, I think. Kathy, thank you, saying that you love the show. All of you, thank you for putting it on your calendar. We can't wait to see you that night. And one more time, here's all the information you need to know. It's June 13th, 7 to 8:30. We're going to watch the sunset together. Obviously, as Julie has said, we have a ton of giveaways that we're going to be doing. We're going to have a lot of fun. Come hungry and be ready to have a drink. Please designate a driver so that you can make it home safely. 11604 Bluff Road in Columbia, Illinois. And follow them, by the way, on Facebook. Look, Zach reads my mind. He knew I was going to say that. Follow them on Facebook. I believe you've got over 12,000 followers already. So 12,000 of you definitely know that that's the place to be. Can't wait to have an incredible time. Julie, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled that you booked us for this. And for you, if you would like for us to bring our show to your business, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. By the way, if one of you has somebody booking us for a Mobile Monica or for a full-blown sponsorship, we reward you with merchandise from our website. You can go to TheRealMonicaAdams.com and click on shop. We've got jackets and shirts, and we've got journals and mugs, and we're going to bring some of that merchandise out there to give away, as well as it'll be available for purchase if you want this to be constantly following you around, to know your value. Julie, can't wait for next week. We better have beautiful weather.
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
Yes,
Beckett, more.
Pray for beautiful weather.
Yes, Beckett, we're going to put it all on you Friday when you give us the forecast for next week. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. We greatly appreciate it. Remember to always share, like, and follow our live streams on YouTube and Facebook. Tomorrow we'll also be adding X and Instagram and Rumble Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. That means on Thursday we'll be on all of the platforms, so you can't say you can't find a place to watch. Go out, enjoy the day today, and remember to do the one thing that I ask you each and every day, and that is to be kind. God bless you all.